overcoming loneliness during Christmas. Recognize that you are not alone in feeling alone. There is power in knowing that millions of people feel this way during the holidays. Loneliness does not mean there's something wrong with you. It means you're human. Acknowledge it and give yourself grace. Shift the focus from what's missing to what's possible. Yes, maybe your table isn't as full as you'd hoped, but the beauty of this season is that it can be what you choose to make of it. Look at what you do have: the gift of time, the opportunity to create a new tradition and your own unique essence. Be the light you're searching for. Don't wait for someone else to reach out. Call a friend, write a heartfelt note, volunteer at a shelter. When you give of yourself, loneliness begins to fade because you're stepping into connection. Let the small joys find you: a warm cup of cocoa, twin lights, or even the scent of a candle. These are love letters from the universe reminding you of beauty in the moment. Pause and let them embrace you. Build community in unexpected places. Community doesn't just mean family or longtime friends. It could be the barista who knows your coffee order, the neighbor walking their dog, or an online group that shares your passion. Open your heart to new connections. Honor your feelings, but don't let them define you. It's okay to cry, to feel the ache of solitude, but remember, feelings are like waves. They come, they go, and they don't have to drown you. Ride them and trust that brighter tides are coming. Create a ritual of joy just for yourself. Who says you need others to celebrate? Decorate your space. Cook your favorite meal. Write down your dreams for the coming year. Make this season a celebration of you. Practice the art of gratitude. Write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. Gratitude transforms what we have into enough and gives us eyes to see the goodness in our lives. Allow yourself to dream bigger. Loneliness can feel like a void, but it's also an invitation, a blank canvas where you can paint new hopes, new goals, and new connections. Lean into what's ahead with curiosity. Remember that you are always loved, even when it feels like no one's there. Love is present in the air you breathe, in the stars above, in the miracle that you are. You are worthy of love, not because of who you're with, but because of who you're with. Take these words with you and let this holiday season be a time of rediscovering you, because the greatest gift you can give yourself is the gift of love and connection starting within. The holidays have a way of magnifying our feelings, don't they? For so many, it's a time of joy and togetherness, but for others, it brings a deep sense of longing. And that's okay. Feeling alone during this season doesn't mean there's anything broken within you. It simply means you are in touch with your humanity. That ache, that emptiness, is a reminder of your capacity to love, to connect, to care. It's proof that your heart is still open to possibility. When you feel the weight of loneliness pressing down, I want you to remember that you are not carrying this alone. Somewhere in the world, someone else is staring out of a frosted window, wondering if anyone sees them, if anyone cares. Somewhere, someone is sitting at a quiet table, missing the voices that used to fill the room. You're not isolated in your feelings. You're part of a shared experience that many others are navigating too. There is a strange kind of comfort in knowing you're not the only one. When we realize that loneliness is a thread running through the hearts of so many, it reminds us of our shared humanity. It's easy to feel like you're the only one in the world who's missing out, but trust me, you're not. You are part of a silent community of souls yearning for connection, and that is something we can draw strength from. You see, feeling alone isn't a reflection of your worth. It's not a verdict on your life or a measure of how lovable you are. It's simply a signal, a nudge from your spirit that you're craving something deeper. It's an invitation to honor your emotions, to hold space for them without judgment. Because when you do that, you begin to see loneliness not as a flaw, but as a universal experience. The truth is, loneliness doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your status, your success, or how many friends you have on social media. It visits everyone at some point, whether they're sitting in a bustling room or spending the holiday alone. What matters is how we respond to it. Do we let it consume us, or do we let it remind us of our need for connection? In those quiet moments when you feel the weight of solitude, I want you to breathe deeply and remind yourself that this too is a part of life. It's a chapter, not the whole story. You are allowed to feel this way. You are allowed to sit with it, to name it, to make peace with it, and you are allowed to know that it won't always feel like this. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is to admit when we're lonely, to say it out loud, even if just to ourselves, and to recognize that it's a natural part of being alive. There is no shame in wanting connection, in longing for a hand to hold or a voice to hear. It's what makes us human. It's what makes us real. So often we feel like we have to put on a brave face, especially during the holidays. But let me tell you, there's a kind of magic that happens when you allow yourself to be honest with your feelings. When you stop pretending and start acknowledging the truth of your heart, you give yourself permission to heal, to soften, to grow. When you realize you're not alone in feeling this way, the world starts to feel just a little less heavy. There's a quiet power in knowing that someone out there understands exactly what you're going through. And maybe, just maybe, that realization can be the first step toward finding the connection you've been yearning for. The holidays have a way of making us focus on what's missing. We look at the empty seats, the silence where laughter used to echo, or the traditions that seem to have faded. It's natural to feel the sting of absence, but there's another way to look at this season, a way that doesn't dismiss the pain but transforms it. What if, instead of dwelling on what's gone, you opened your heart to what's still possible? This season, your table may not be as full, but that doesn't mean it can't be meaningful. Take a moment to notice what you do have: the quiet gift of time to reflect, the chance to embrace something new, the space to dream of a different way forward. Sometimes, when life clears away the old, it's inviting us to create something extraordinary from what remains. Possibility is a powerful thing. It whispers to us in the stillness, in the moments we least expect. Maybe this is the year you write your own traditions, ones that reflect who you are now. Maybe you cook that recipe you've always wanted to try, or decorate your space in a way that feels uniquely yours. Possibility doesn't ask for perfection, it only asks for willingness. When we stop fixating on what's missing, we begin to notice the beauty that's been quietly waiting for us all along. The sparkle of the lights, the warmth of a soft blanket, the sound of music that stirs your soul. These aren't just small joys, they're reminders that even in solitude, life still offers its gifts. The key is to say yes to them. The holidays are not bound by rules. There's no one way to celebrate, no checklist you have to complete. What matters is that you allow yourself to experience the moment however it unfolds. Maybe it's a solo walk under the stars, or a video call with a loved one, or simply lighting a candle and sitting in gratitude. These small acts of presence can become their own kind of miracle. Your essence, your unique self, is what brings meaning to this season. It's not the size of the gathering or the number of presents under the tree. It's you. The way you laugh, the way you love, the way you love, the way you show up, even for yourself. That is the gift. That is what transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. There's a quiet freedom in letting go of expectations. When you release the idea of how things should look, you open the door to how they could feel. Imagine the peace of embracing the moment as it is, not as it's compared to the past or someone else's story. That shift in perspective can be the greatest gift you give yourself. Think of this season as a blank canvas waiting for your brushstrokes. You don't need to fill it with grand gestures or perfect memories. A simple moment of joy, of kindness, of creativity, it all adds up to something beautiful. You have the power to create a holiday that reflects your heart, even if it looks different from years past. What's possible this season is not limited by what's missing. It's defined by what you choose to see, to feel, to create. It's in the way you open yourself to new connections, new traditions, and new ways of being. The emptiness you feel can become space for something more, something deeper, something uniquely yours. So this season, try looking not at the empty chairs, but at the room that holds you. Look not at what you've lost, but at what you've found within yourself. Because what's possible is not somewhere out there, it's right here, waiting for you to embrace it. There's a quiet power in realizing that the light you're looking for has been within you all along. So often we wait for someone to call, for an invitation to arrive, for the doorbell to ring with unexpected company. But what if, instead of waiting, you chose to be that spark? What if you decided to become the very thing you're longing for? That's when the magic begins. When you take the first step, something shifts. Call that friend you've been thinking about, even if it's been months or years. Chances are they've been longing for connection just as much as you have. Write a note, not a text, but a real heartfelt message that someone can hold in their hands and feel your presence in every word. These small acts don't just brighten someone else's day, they illuminate your own. Loneliness can feel like a heavy shadow, but light isn't something you have to wait for. You can create it. You can take it into the world and let it shine. Volunteer at a shelter, help serve a meal, or lend a listening ear to someone who needs to be heard. When you give of yourself, you're not just giving time or effort, you're giving connection. And connection is the antidote to loneliness. The truth is, when you extend your hand to others, you're not just reaching outward, you're reaching inward. You're reminding yourself of your capacity to love, to care, to make a difference. You're stepping out of the isolation that loneliness brings and stepping into the vibrant world of shared humanity. That's where the healing begins. Don't underestimate the power of small gestures. A smile at a stranger, a compliment to someone who's struggling, a moment of kindness, it all matters. You never know the ripple effect of your light. It might brighten someone else's path in ways you can't imagine. And in doing so, it reflects back to you, reminding you that you are never truly alone. Being the light isn't about perfection. It's not about fixing everything or having all the answers. It's about showing up as you are with what you have and letting your presence be enough. It's about saying, here I am and I care. That simple act can turn even the darkest of days into something luminous. Sometimes the best way to ease your own loneliness is to step into someone else's story. When you listen, when you share, when you connect, you realize that we're all walking this journey together. And in those moments, the walls of solitude crumble, replaced by the bridges you've built. The beauty of being the light is that it's limitless. The more you give, the more it grows. It's a gift that multiplies, filling not just your world, but the worlds of those around you. It's in your laughter, your generosity, your willingness to show up. And it doesn't have to be big. Even the smallest spark can guide someone home. So if you're searching for connection, for warmth, for belonging, start by becoming it. Be the voice that calls, the hand that reaches, the heart that gives. Because when you are the light you're searching for, you discover that the light was never far away. It's been within you, waiting to shine all along. Sometimes we think joy has to be grand to be real. We tell ourselves it has to come wrapped in big moments, loud celebrations, or perfect days. But the truth is, joy often lives in the quiet corners, in the smallest details, waiting patiently for us to notice. So a warm cup of cocoa on a chilly evening isn't just a drink, it's a gentle hug for your soul. Twinkling lights on a tree aren't just decorations, they're tiny sparks of hope reminding you to look for the magic around you. There's a beauty in allowing the small joys to find you. You don't have to chase them and you don't have to work for them. Just pause, breathe. Notice maybe it's the scent of a candle, filling the air with memories you didn't even know you had. Maybe it's the sound of a favorite song, the one that makes your heart feel a little lighter. These are the universe's way of whispering, I'm here. Look around, there's beauty even now. Small joys don't ask for much. They don't require you to be at your best or to have everything figured out. They meet you exactly where you are. They remind you that even in the midst of loneliness or uncertainty, there's still something to hold on to. A sunrise peeking over the horizon, the softness of a favorite blanket, the quiet rhythm of your own breath, each one is a gift, waiting to be unwrapped. When you let these moments embrace you, something shifts. The heaviness you've been carrying starts to feel a little lighter. The world, which may have seemed so distant, feels closer, more connected. Joy doesn't erase the hard times, but it reminds you that life is layered, that even in the shadows, light can sneak through. Let yourself be present with these little blessings. Don't rush past them, thinking they're too small to matter. They matter. They're proof that the universe is still speaking to you, still offering you reasons to smile, to hope, to keep going. Every sip of cocoa, every flicker of a candle, every sparkle of light, it's all a conversation, a reminder that beauty exists in even the simplest things. And don't forget, joy is contagious. When you allow these small moments to fill you, they have a way of spilling over. Your smile might inspire someone else to notice their own small joys. Your moment of gratitude might become someone else's reason to pause and reflect. That's the power of letting joy find you. It doesn't just change your world, it ripples outward. So as the days unfold, look for the love letters the universe is sending you. They're everywhere in the quiet and the ordinary. A crisp winter breeze on your face. The laughter of a stranger passing by. The way the stars seem to wink at you when you glance up at the night sky. Let them in. Let them remind you that joy doesn't have to be loud to be real. It just has to be noticed. Community is not always where we expect to find it. Sometimes it's not the people we've known forever or the ones with whom we share a history, but the ones who simply show up in our everyday lives. It's the barista who remembers your order, the neighbor who waves from across the street, the colleague who always checks in. These moments of connection may seem small, but together they weave a tapestry of belonging. We often think of community as something built over years, but it can also be built in a moment. A shared smile, a warm hello, a kind gesture, these are the seeds of connection. When you open your heart, you start to see that community is everywhere. It's not bound by time or proximity, it's created by the willingness to reach out and to let others in. Sometimes the most unexpected places hold the richest connections. An online group where people share your love for books or art. A class you decide to take on a whim, even a chat with a stranger in line at the store. These moments remind us that we're all seeking the same thing, a sense of being seen, of being valued, of belonging. When you show up with an open heart, you invite that sense of belonging to grow. Building community doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the little things, complimenting someone's scarf, asking your neighbor about their garden, sharing a laugh with the person sitting next to you at the bus stop. These tiny moments of connection have a way of growing into something more. Over time, they form the foundation of relationships that can surprise you with their depth. And here's the beautiful thing, when you reach out, you give others permission to do the same. Your openness becomes a light that draws people in. It creates a ripple effect, turning small moments into lasting bonds. That's the magic of community. It multiplies when you nurture it, even in the simplest ways. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Join that group you've been curious about. Start a conversation with someone you've seen around but never spoken to. Sometimes the people who become the most important in our lives are the ones we almost overlooked. Community doesn't always look the way we expect it to, but it always finds us when we're open to it. It's also important to remember that community doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. It's not about finding people who agree with you on everything or who share every detail of your life. It's about finding those moments of connection, however small, and letting them grow. It's about choosing to see the humanity in others and allowing them to see yours. Even if you feel isolated, know that you're not alone. The world is full of people just like you, looking for connection, hoping for a sense of belonging. Sometimes all it takes is one small step to bridge the gap. A smile, a question, a simple act of kindness. These are the building blocks of community. So look around, look in the unexpected places, the park, the library, the online forum, the little cafe down the street. There's a world of people waiting to connect, to share, to build something beautiful with you. Open your heart to them, and you may find that the community you've been longing for was closer than you ever imagined. Feelings are a part of being human. They're raw, they're real, and they remind us that we're alive. It's okay to feel the ache of loneliness, the sting of solitude. It's okay to cry when your heart feels heavy or to let the sadness wash over you when it comes. These emotions are not your enemy, they're a part of your story. Honor them, acknowledge them, but know this, they don't define you. I think of your emotions like waves in the ocean. Some are gentle ripples, others are towering swells, but none of them last forever. They rise, they crest, and they fall back into the sea. Your sadness, your longing, your pain, they are all temporary. They may feel overwhelming in the moment, but trust that they will pass. And when they do, you will still be standing stronger and more grounded than before. It's easy to feel like your emotions are the whole of who you are, especially in moments of deep loneliness, but they're not. They're simply a part of your experience, a reflection of what you're going through, not a reflection of your worth. You are so much more than the feelings you carry. You are the love you give, the dreams you hold, the light that shines within you, even when it feels dim. When the waves of emotion crash over you, let yourself feel them fully without judgment. Cry if you need to. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Let the emotion move through you instead of holding it in. Because when you allow yourself to feel, you allow yourself to heal. Denying your feelings doesn't make them go away, it only makes them louder. Honoring them is how you find peace. But here's the key, don't build your home in those waves. Don't let the sadness, the ache, or the solitude become your identity. Feel them, but don't cling to them. They are visitors, not permanent residents. Let them come, and then let them go. You are not your sadness. You are not your loneliness. You are the one riding the waves, not the wave itself. In those moments when the waves feel too big, remember that you are not alone. So many others are navigating their own seas, feeling their own storms, and just like you, they're searching for calmer waters. This shared experience of being human connects us all, even when it feels like we're drifting apart. You are not an island. You are part of a vast and beautiful ocean. Brighter tides are always coming. You may not see them yet, but they're on their way. Trust that the waves of joy, of love, of connection will rise again. They always do. Life has a way of surprising us, of bringing light when we least expect it. So hold on, ride the waves, and know that you are so much stronger than you realize. The beauty of honoring your feelings is that it makes space for something new. When you let the sadness move through you, you open your heart to hope. When you allow the loneliness to visit, you make room for connection. Each wave that passes brings you closer to the shore of what's possible, to the life that's waiting for you beyond this moment. So let yourself feel, let yourself be human. But don't let the waves pull you under. You are not your sadness, your longing, or your pain. You are the strength that endures, the heart that loves, the soul that continues to hope. Trust that the tides will turn and brighter days are on the horizon. Joy doesn't have to wait for an invitation, and it certainly doesn't depend on the presence of others. There is power, beauty, and magic in celebrating yourself exactly as you are, right here, right now. You don't need a packed house or a bustling table to create something meaningful. This season can be your time to honor your journey, your dreams, and your essence with rituals that are uniquely yours. Imagine waking up and deciding to create a day that feels like a love letter to yourself. Decorate your space, not because someone is coming over, but because it brings you joy. String those lights, hang the ornaments, place candles on the windowsill. Let your home reflect the light and beauty you carry within. Every sparkle, every glow is a reminder that this season is still yours to celebrate. Cook your favorite meal, the one that feels like comfort and happiness on a plate. Play your favorite music while you chop, stir, and savor the process. Set the table just for you. Light a candle, pour a drink. Make it an occasion because you are worth the effort. This isn't about anyone else, it's about giving yourself the love and care you deserve. Take some time to sit quietly and dream. Grab a notebook or a scrap of paper and write down the hopes and visions you have for the coming year. Not as a resolution or a to-do list, but as a joyful imagining of what could be. Let your heart wander to the places it longs to go. Give yourself permission to dream big, to believe in possibilities, to celebrate the journey you're on. Creating a ritual of joy doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as making a cup of tea and watching the snow fall, or taking a walk under the stars and marveling at their quiet brilliance. It's about carving out space for yourself to feel alive, to feel connected, to feel cherished, because when you take the time to honor yourself, you're reminding your soul that it matters. Who says celebration requires a crowd? Turn up the music and dance in your living room. Wrap yourself in your coziest blanket and watch your favorite holiday movie. Take a long bath with the scent of your favorite oils. These moments are not small, they are sacred. They are a declaration that your joy is valid and that your presence is enough to light up a season. Let your ritual be a reflection of you. Maybe it's painting or journaling or baking cookies just because you love the smell of them in the oven. Maybe it's sitting by the fire with a good book or meditating with the soft glow of fairy lights around you. Whatever it is, let it feel like home. Let it feel like love. This is your time to celebrate not just the holidays, but yourself. To honor the challenges you've faced, the growth you've embraced, and the person you're becoming. You don't need anyone else's permission to make this season meaningful. You are the magic. You are the reason to celebrate. Rituals of joy are not about perfection, they're about presence. They're about showing up for yourself with intention and care. They're about creating moments that feel like gifts to your spirit. And in doing so, you remind yourself that you are whole, you are enough, and you are deserving of all the beauty this season has to offer. So make this time your own. Celebrate in the way that feels truest to you. Light the candles, cook the meal, write the dreams, let the season become a reflection of the love you have for yourself. Because when you create a ritual of joy, you're not just celebrating the holidays, you're celebrating the beautiful, extraordinary person you are. Gratitude is a quiet but powerful force. It has a way of turning even the simplest of moments into treasures and reminding us that no matter where we are in life, there is always something to hold close to our hearts. The practice of gratitude is like planting seeds in a garden. Each day, as you pause to reflect on the things you're thankful for, you're nurturing a life filled with richness and meaning. When you take a moment to write down 3 things you're grateful for, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's present. It doesn't have to be big or profound. It could be the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of a favorite song, or the kindness of someone holding the door open for you. These small blessings, when noticed and honored, have the power to fill your spirit in ways that surprise you. Gratitude transforms what we have into enough. It quiets the voice in our minds that says we're lacking, that we need more, that life is incomplete. Instead, it opens our eyes to the abundance already around us. A cozy blanket on a cold night, the laughter of a friend, even if it's on the other end of a phone call, the simple gift of waking up to a new day. Gratitude shows us that what we have right now is more than enough. As you practice the art of gratitude, you begin to see life differently. The small moments that once passed unnoticed now shine with meaning. A cup of tea becomes a moment of peace. A stranger's smile becomes a reminder of connection. The ordinary becomes extraordinary because gratitude has given you new eyes to see the goodness in your life. Gratitude is not about ignoring the challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the light, even when the shadows are present. It's about finding beauty in the cracks, hope in the struggle, and joy in the midst of the mundane. Gratitude doesn't deny our pain. It reminds us that even in the hardest moments, there is still something to be thankful for. When you write down your gratitude, you're creating a record of joy. On the days when life feels heavy, you can look back and remind yourself of all the goodness you've experienced. It's like carrying a pocket full of sunshine to light your way when the clouds roll in. Gratitude becomes a wellspring of strength, grounding you in the beauty of the present moment. Practicing gratitude also opens your heart to others. As you recognize the gifts in your life, you begin to see how often they come from the kindness, generosity, and love of those around you. Gratitude connects you to the world in a way that feels intimate and profound. It reminds you that you are part of something larger, something beautiful. The more you practice gratitude, the more it grows. It's like a muscle that becomes stronger with use. At first, it might feel small, like noticing a single flower in a vast field. But over time, it expands, and soon you're surrounded by an entire garden of blessings. Gratitude has the power to transform your perspective, your day, and your life. So take a moment, write down 3 things, no matter how small, that you're thankful for today. Feel the shift in your heart as you acknowledge them. Let gratitude be your anchor, your guide, and your reminder that goodness is always present. Because when you choose gratitude, you choose to see the world and your life through a lens of abundance and love. Loneliness often arrives like an empty room, quiet and vast, echoing with what once was or what could have been. But what if, instead of a void, you saw it as a blank canvas, a space not just for reflection, but for creation? A moment in your life to dream, to imagine, to look forward with curiosity instead of backward with regret. This is your chance to allow yourself to dream bigger. Dreams are not bound by your current circumstances. They don't depend on who is sitting beside you or what has happened in the past. They are born in the quiet moments, in the stillness where your heart can hear itself. Loneliness, as heavy as it can feel, is also fertile ground for possibility. It's a pause, an opening, a clearing where you can ask yourself, what do I want? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to go? Lean into the unknown with wonder. What if this loneliness isn't just an absence, but an invitation? An invitation to create something new, to explore parts of yourself that you've kept hidden, to reach for dreams you thought were out of reach. In this stillness, you have the power to envision a future that excites you, that fills you with purpose, that reminds you of your own infinite potential. Let yourself dream without limits. Forget about what seems realistic or practical for a moment and just let your heart roam free. Picture the life you want to live, the relationships you want to build, the places you want to go, the joy you want to feel. Write it down, sketch it out, or simply close your eyes and see it in your mind. This is your canvas painted with bold, vibrant strokes. Dreaming bigger doesn't mean ignoring the present or wishing it away. It means believing that the present is the foundation for what's to come. It means trusting that even in your loneliness, you are planting seeds for a future full of connection, purpose, and love. Your dreams are not distractions, they are guideposts leading you toward what is possible. Curiosity is your compass. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what could this moment teach me? Where could it lead me? Approach the future with a sense of wonder. Let the unknown be an adventure rather than a fear. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you're imagining. Remember, you are not confined by your past or your current situation. You have the power to create, to grow, to transform. Loneliness may feel like a stopping point, but it's not. It's a starting point. It's the space where you can begin to dream bigger, to imagine a life that is fuller, richer, and more aligned with who you truly are. As you dream, be open to new connections, new opportunities, and new paths. You never know who or what might come into your life as you step forward. The very act of dreaming opens you up to possibility, and possibility is where magic happens. Trust that the universe is always conspiring to help you grow, even in moments when you feel most alone. So, allow yourself to dream. Dream fiercely, dream boldly, dream without apology. Let your heart guide you toward what's next, knowing that this moment, this quiet, lonely moment, is not an end, but a beginning. The canvas is yours, and the future is waiting for your brushstrokes. In those moments when loneliness wraps around you like a heavy cloak, it can be hard to remember the truth that is always with you. You are loved. Love doesn't always look the way we expect it to. It doesn't always come in the form of a phone call, a visit, or a hug. But it is always present, woven into the fabric of your existence. It's in the air you breathe, in the vastness of the sky above, in the stillness of the night when you can hear your own heartbeat. You are never truly alone. You are worthy of love, not because of who you're with, but because of who you are. Your worth is not determined by the people in your life or the circumstances you find yourself in. It is inherent in your being. From the moment you took your first breath, you are worthy of love. You are the miracle, the gift, the beautiful soul that this world needs, and no amount of loneliness can diminish the light that you carry within. Even in the quietest, loneliest moments, love is there. It's in the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of rain tapping on your window, the way the world seems to pause and breathe with you. Love is not confined to human relationships. It's the energy that flows through everything, through nature, through the stars, through every heartbeat in the world. It's a force that connects us all, even when we can't see it. Sometimes we forget that love is not something we need to earn. It's not dependent on our actions, our status, or our achievements. Love is a constant. It's always flowing, always surrounding you, always within you. You don't have to do anything to deserve it. You are loved simply because you exist. Your very presence is a reflection of the love that fills the universe. On the days when it feels like no one is there, take a moment to remember that you are. You are with yourself and you are enough. The love that lives inside you is the same love that is present in the world around you. It's the quiet strength that you carry when you wake up in the morning, the resilience you show when you face another day. That's love at work. It's easy to believe that love comes only from others, but the most important love is the love that you give yourself. When you honor your feelings, when you nurture your dreams, when you accept your imperfections, you are loving yourself. And that love, the love you give yourself, will always be there for you. It's your anchor, your guide, your constant. In those moments of silence, in the stillness when you're not sure who's around, remember that love is there. It doesn't need to be seen to be felt. It doesn't need to be spoken to be understood. It is present in every breath you take, in every step you make, in the very essence of who you are. So when the world feels empty, remember this: you are loved, not because of what you do or who you're with, but because you are an irreplaceable part of this vast and beautiful universe. You are loved simply because you exist, and that love will always find you, even in the quietest of moments. As we come to the close of this season, remember that loneliness doesn't have to be a burden we carry in silence. It can be a doorway, a passage to something deeper within ourselves. It invites us to stop, to reflect, to reconnect with the parts of us that have been overlooked or forgotten. Christmas, with all its lights and festivities, can be the backdrop for rediscovery, for honoring who you are and the beautiful life you are creating. You are not defined by the empty spaces around you. You are defined by the love and strength that flow from within you. Loneliness during Christmas is not a sign of inadequacy, but a powerful reminder that you have the capacity to embrace joy in ways that are uniquely your own. Take this time to shift your perspective, to look not at what is missing, but at what is possible. What new traditions can you create? What dreams can you begin to breathe life into? The season offers us the opportunity to open ourselves to new possibilities, to step forward with curiosity and faith, knowing that every step we take is part of the grand, beautiful journey. In the quiet of these moments, remember you are never truly alone. Even when it feels like the world has distanced itself, you are always surrounded by love in its many forms. It's in the stars, the wind, the warmth of your home. It's in the small acts of kindness from strangers, the laughter shared with a friend, the gratitude that fills your heart when you take a moment to reflect. Love is always present, even when we can't see it, reminding us that we are worthy of connection, worthy of celebration, and worthy of joy. So don't wait for others to show up before you decide to celebrate yourself. Your love for you is enough to fill any space. Create the joy you seek. Write the new story for yourself this season, a story that is about hope, possibility, and self-compassion. Let the rituals, the moments, the acts of kindness, and the dreams you nurture become the light in your heart. You don't need anyone else's permission to celebrate the miracle that you are. And as the season unfolds, remember that you are always loved. Not because of what you do or who you are with, but because of the sheer fact that you exist. You are a gift to this world, and the love you seek is always within you. The true spirit of Christmas, the one that transcends the holiday, is the love that connects us all, the love that is eternal, always present, and always ready to find us. Embrace it. Let it heal. Let it guide you. You are never alone, and the best is yet to come.